Here are 3 tips to help you release a false twin flame connection. Welcome back to my channel. I'm Breann, a master certified ascension coach with Twin Flames Universe. And today I want to talk to you and help you if you're experiencing a false twin flame connection and you're very clear or you're thinking that it might be a false twin flame connection. I'm going to share with you some tips, things that I did in helping me release my false twin flame, and that you can also utilize for your own journey and connection. And some of us will experience a false twin flame. Not everyone will. I do know many twin flames that they have met their true twin flame right off the bat, and they were set to go. While in my experience, I did have a false twin flame that kind of I started my awakening, and I had my dark night of the soul, my Kundalini awakening, all of that good stuff that most of us are aware of happened with my false twin flame. Tip number 1, the first thing that you want to do with tip number 1 is you want to sit down and have introspection. Maybe pull out a journal, pen and paper, and write down your thoughts and feelings, like how are you feeling about this person? What are your thoughts? What are your beliefs? And what has led you to believe that they are your false twin flame? And you got to understand too that no one can actually confirm a false twin flame or a true twin flame. That is something that only you will be able to determine on your own. But there's a lot of support and resources that can help you in getting clear. And one of those resources that I've always used and that I always recommend my clients use, it's from the Body of Twin Flames Universe, and that is a love list. And so your love list essentially is your core values. It's what you desire in your twin flame. It's what you know your twin flame to be in your heart. And you can write down your core values, in this person that you believe is maybe a false twin flame. You can see if they match up with your love list. And if they don't match up with your love list, if it just looks like a complete and total opposite, then, trust yourself if you feel like, oh yeah, they don't match my love list. And examples of love lists, like, mine and Adam, our love list has been like loyalty, joy, trustworthiness, happiness, exploration, right? Exploring. And that's just a few to start. Life purpose, right? So those are just some of our core values, where you can have up to 100, of whatever you feel that your core values are. So take some time to do some introspection, to get really clear on how you're feeling about this person and why you have come to the conclusion or are considering them as a false twin flame. Tip number 2, lots and lots of self-care and self-nurture. And I'm going to tell you why. Many of us, or those of us that do, attract, keyword attract, a false twin flame experience. It's because there was a lesson, a soul's lesson, soul's growth that needed to happen before we could manifest or attract our true twin flame. And I don't exactly know why that reason is. I can only speak from personal experience. And I had a lot of issues with codependency. And that is a lot of what I healed in relationship with my false twin flame, is a lot of attachments and codependency and fears of abandonment. If I would have met my true twin flame and we would have started to come together, it would have been a very challenging time, very, very toxic and very challenging, because when you have, or I had these patterns, and you have patterns, we all have patterns. But if we're not in a place yet where we understand that we are attracting and manifesting in our reality, and if we're very hurt, it's going to make, especially with a twin flame dynamic, it's going to make a situation very uncomfortable. Whereas what was most compassionate for me and my true twin flame was us both having false twin flame experiences, so that we could really uproot those very low vibrational patterns that we were having in our consciousness. And as we uprooted all of those very low vibrational patterns and energetic attachments, then it was very, it was compassionate for us to enter into each other's lives. And so that requires a lot of self-love and self-care, because love is what raises your vibration, right? Love ascends your vibration, and as you ascend your vibration from a state of love, you naturally attract what is meant for you, and that's your true twin flame. That's who you are meant to and created to be with for eternity, and that is your perfect love of loves. And I always say this too, it's like, you think your false twin flame, they had it going on, it's not even going to compare to your true twin flame. Your true twin flame, they really are the shit. They really are the cherry on the cake, or the icing on the cake. They are the thing, right? And so it's safe for you to, if you suspect that you have a false twin flame, it's safe for you to fully let go of them, because as you let go of that old energy and the energy that's not meant for you, what's coming in energetically, the new, what is meant for you, is going to be really, really delightful for you. And you're going to be like, wow, this is like a million times more than I ever could have even imagined. It really is beautiful. And if you're already with your true twin flame and you're just watching this just, because for, whatever reason, well, then you probably resonate with exactly what I'm sharing when it comes to being with your true twin flame. Tip number 3, love completely. And what do I mean by that? Love completely. All right, and in this tip, the mirror exercise is going to be your best friend. And when I say love completely, it's going to be the thing that attunes or supports you in attuning your vibration to your true twin flame, and full on revealing if this is indeed a false twin flame experience. As you apply the mirror exercise to what about this person doesn't set well with you, or what doesn't feel good to you, if you feel anything other than peace, then there's still something unresolved, okay? And the way that you love completely is you love the lesson completely. You love the experience completely. And I'm going to share with you how I did that and what that looked like for me. So with my false twin flame, I did not know that they were a false twin flame up until the very end. And I knew that they were getting further and further away from me, but I thought maybe I just had a really big block that I hadn't yet discovered. But it finally started to click towards, the end of the revealing, the revealing to myself. And so how I love completely was that the divine, God, source, continuously showed me that this person was my true twin flame. And so because I was being shown by the universe that this was indeed my true twin flame, even though it was a false, I still committed fully to what I was being shown. I was like, okay, this is what the universe is showing me, and there's nothing as of yet that I've discovered that tells me otherwise, right? I followed my heart. And so in that, anything that this person showed me, for instance, the distance that started to happen between us, or the lack of communication, or the fears of abandonment, I would apply the mirror exercise to all of those things. And in the mirror exercise, that essentially points you back to yourself so that you can identify that point in your consciousness where you're experiencing an upset, where you're experiencing separation from your good. And so as I healed, the codependency, the attachments, the fears of abandonment, the lack of communication, the distance, I just kept mirroring that stuff, right? Loving myself. Now, I wasn't obsessive about it. I wasn't, like, oh my God, okay, now they're doing this. It was just a very natural progression of, okay, so I'm feeling good right now, but there's still this thing that doesn't set quite well in my heart. So let me go a bit deeper here and see if there's something more that I haven't, found within myself. And every single time without fail, I would find a place where I had, abandoned myself, where I was, seeing other things as like my source, maybe like people, places, things, thinking that that was my source of happiness rather than God. And so I would align myself back to the truth, back to the divine. Um, for like, let's see, abandonment, or rejection, I would find places where I had rejected myself. I wasn't really allowing myself to be fully authentic. I wasn't allowing myself to share that with the world. I would like put on a mask and try to be someone that I thought everyone wanted me to be. So there was also people pleasing in that, right? And so I was totally like disregarding myself and my feelings and how I felt. And so piece by piece, as I continued to work the process, it finally was very, very clear to me. And I felt complete and total peace in my heart that it was like a whole new world. Like my consciousness had completely shifted. And I just remember like sitting in meditation one day. And this was back in 2000, early 2020 or 2019. But I remember just telling God, like, God, I feel free. Like, I feel so content and happy in my relationship with you. Like, I'm open. If this person is my twin flame, great. If they're not, I feel completely good to let them go. Like, I felt so free and happy in relationship with my creator that I was just open. And then within not even long after that, it was like, Adam and I, we had already developed a friendship. I already had a really close relationship. And there was like a push-pull dynamic happening. But then something switched in our friendship. And I was like, oh my gosh. Like, all these light bulbs were going off. And, God was showing me, revealing to me the truth. And it was like a massive wave of relief and just all these awarenesses and insights that started to happen. And so it was a really beautiful experience, like looking back on it. But this is what it means to love completely, is you're loving yourself completely, meaning everything it is that that person's doing and it doesn't set well with you and you don't like it, doesn't feel good, it upsets you. You love yourself there. Choose to let them go and know that they're not your source of happiness, right? God is your source of happiness. God is your source of joy. And when you plug yourself back into your source, which is God, then you release that attachment completely to the person, right? And that allows room and space for what was truly created for you to be with you. All right, and if this is the very first video of mine that you've watched and you have no clue what the mirror exercise is, don't worry. I put some resources in the description box below. The mirror exercise can be found in Twin Flames, Finding Your Ultimate Lover, the book by Jeff and Shalia. It can be found on Amazon. And I'll provide all of that below. But like I said before, the mirror exercise, it helps you in identifying where you're experiencing separation from your twin flame. And it helps you to, or shows you how to heal that so that you then can experience union consciousness within yourself and with your twin flame. That's how you manifest your harmonious twin flame union. All right. So thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to hit that like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.